Morning Facebook, how are we? I'm waiting for my coffee to boil this morning. I'm not the first in the office this morning, which makes a change. Someone called James, who works on one of the other companies in the hub, is here today, which is cool. So yeah, not alone, which is unusual. You can probably hear from my voice, I'm actually not very well. This explains the bags under my eyes, so sorry about that. So today's video, I was working on our online rent-to-rent course yesterday, and I also had a really good call with a lady up in Liverpool yesterday about some training, and it got me thinking about something really interesting, and that is that the HMO officer. Okay, so when I first started, the HMO officer terrified me, and I don't know if any of you can relate to this at all, but I always thought that they were there to work against us. They were there to kind of stop us from doing what we do. And it's only really with experience and time and understanding of what it is that we actually do that I've come to realise that the HMO officer is actually our friend. Whether it's rent to rent, whether it's purchasing HMOs, it doesn't really matter. Ultimately, the HMO officers, their job is to create accommodation. Not create it, but make it as accessible as possible. It's their job to make sure that the people that live in that accommodation are safe and looked after and in, you know, warm, comfortable beds. It's their job to make sure that you know, it's safe. If there's a fire, people can get out. It's their job to make sure that everything is as it should be. So what I wanted to do in this little video is just to say, you know, don't be frightened of the HMO officer. And one of the things I ask all my mentees to do in my accountability program is to give a call to the HMO officer in your area and actually start to make friends with them. It feels like a bit of a scary thing at first, and I remember when I first did this and first started to speak to the council and things like that. I remember the first letter we got from the council about one of our HMOs in Milton Keynes, and it terrified me. I cried. I thought it was it. I thought we were over. It was all. Thought we were in loads of trouble. I thought we'd done things wrong, and actually, when we invited them out to actually see the property, we realised we hadn't done anything wrong. Everything was absolutely as it should be, and they ticked it off, signed it off, and we're more than happy. And you know, we invite them out to our properties. We're more than happy for that to happen. So this little video this morning, although it's delivered with a croaky voice, there's no less intent here. It's just to say that don't be frightened of the HMO officer. Don't be frightened of working with the team at the council, because ultimately they want accommodation for people, whether it's emergency accommodation, whether it's private sector accommodation. They need that. They need us. So work with them. Get to know them, become their friend, you know, get to know them on a first name basis so that when you call them up, they actually call you back. Put the effort in. It's like anything with a relationship, you have to put the effort in, and you have to keep following up and following up and following up. And once you've done that, they'll answer your questions properly. They'll also, interestingly, tell you at what points there are grey areas and how you can make better accommodation available for the audience that you're working to house. So guys, that's all I wanted to say this morning. I'm waiting for my coffee. The kettle is now boiled. I'm going to go and make some coffee and see if I can't get rid of these bags under my eyes and get on with our rent-to-rent course. We've got a whole another day of recording and editing today. So we're doing modules, I think 6 to 10 today, something like that. So it's a big old amount of content to be done. I'd love to hear what you're up to, and I'd also love to hear what your experience of the HMO officer is in your area. You know, put in the comments box where you're based, you know, what your experience is, whether they've worked for you, whether they've worked against you, and let's kind of share notes on it, because ultimately my thoughts is that if you make friends with them and you work with them and give them what they want, they'll work with you and give you what you want. So have a great day, guys, and I will speak to you soon. See you, bye.